Everyone wants to be liked. We hunger for the acceptance, understanding, and esteem of those around us. Unfortunately, we sometimes alienate individuals unintentionally, even when we mean well. Out of the two, which one is worse? When asked, few will explain why. Calmly, they begin to separate themselves. You may be secretly hated by some people, and we're going to explore 11 of those reasons today. The effect these actions may have on your relationships may be greater than you think. By the time you reach the conclusion, I assure you that you will have gained a deeper understanding of yourself and gained some useful insight from the Stoics. We can begin immediately. Reason number 1. You are too self-centered. It's a fact that we all enjoy receiving a little bit of attention. It would be nice to have a pat on the back, a word of praise, and a shining moment. Humans have an inherent inclination to do so. On the other hand, there's a thin line that separates the pursuit of validation from becoming self-centered. Whenever you go beyond that threshold, you become a bother to those around you. Imagine being trapped in an elevator with someone who wants to talk about themselves non-stop, completely oblivious to the fact that you are attempting to enjoy a moment of peace and quiet. Imagine, for example, a dinner party where one of the guests takes the lead in the conversation, leaving the other guests with the impression that their thoughts are no longer relevant. In circumstances like these, individuals are more likely to feel resentment toward you. Insecurity that is deeply ingrained is frequently the source of self-centeredness. People have a tendency to try to compensate for feelings of inadequacy or unworthiness by persistently seeking attention and approval from other people. In this way, we might become more and more dependent on the approval of others, which makes it even more difficult to cultivate a healthy sense of self-worth. This can lead to a vicious cycle. He once stated, "The only way to avoid being a nuisance to others is to be a nuisance to yourself." Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, was a proponent of this philosophy. To put it another way, if you are always looking for positive reinforcement and attention from other people, you are likely to irritate them. Make it your priority to cultivate a sense of self-worth and contentment within yourself instead. When you are completely content with who you are, you will be less dependent on the acceptance of others, and it will be easier for you to be a positive influence on other people. Conquering self-centeredness can be accomplished through the following practical tips. Always make it a point to pay attention to what other people are saying when you are in the company of other people. Exhibit a sincere interest in comprehending their thoughts and emotions. Spend some time appreciating the positive aspects of your life, whether they are large or tiny, and express gratitude for them. Moving your attention away from yourself and onto other people can be facilitated by this. Donate some of your time. Compassion and empathy can be developed through the act of assisting other people. Put limits in place. When you're feeling overwhelmed, don't be scared to say no to others. Being self-sufficient and putting your own requirements first is an essential practice. If you are having difficulty with self-centeredness, you should think about reaching out to a therapist for assistance. They are able to assist you in coming up with coping techniques and determining the underlying causes of your conduct. Keep in mind that it is perfectly okay to feel proud of your achievements. Nonetheless, it is essential to maintain a healthy balance between arrogance and respect for other people. Conquering self-centeredness and being a more positive and fulfilled person can be accomplished by putting your attention on cultivating good connections and having a healthy sense of self-worth. Reason number 2. You are always right. A person who is always right is disliked by everyone. People are going to get sick of your ego if you are constantly attempting to prove that you are right, even when it is obvious that you are incorrect. It is not a bad thing to admit when you are wrong. Indeed, it demonstrates both humility and character. According to a quote attributed to Seneca, it is a sign of weakness to be unwilling to admit one's mistakes. It is a fallacy to believe that one can always be right. There is no one who does not make errors, and it is essential to recognize this fact. Your refusal to acknowledge that you are in the wrong sends the message that your ego is more important than the relationships you have with other people. This might result in feelings of bitterness, conflict, and isolation. There are many reasons why people insist on being right, but one of the most common ones is the fear of losing face. They can be under the impression that confessing that they made a mistake will make them appear incompetent or weak. Nevertheless, the contrary is frequently the case. You demonstrate that you are self-assured and mature when you are willing to acknowledge that you have made mistakes. More than that, it reveals that you place a higher importance on honesty and integrity than you do on your ego. For those who struggle to resist the need to be right all the time, here are some suggestions. Actively listen. When someone articulates a viewpoint that differs from your own, pay close attention and make an effort to comprehend their point of view. Please take into consideration the potential that you could be wrong. You should maintain an open mind and be willing to modify your views. When you make a mistake, it is important to apologize for it. A genuine apology can go a long way toward healing relationships that have been damaged. Demonstrate empathy by making an effort to understand things from the perspective of other people. Understanding why somebody might disagree with you can be facilitated by this information. Building relationships should be your primary priority. Rather than trying to prove that you are correct, you should concentrate on developing strong and healthy relationships with other people. Always keep in mind that being successful is not the same thing as being right. Building great relationships, growing as a person, and learning from your errors are the three most important factors that contribute to true success. It's possible to develop into a more optimistic and satisfying person by letting go of your ego and embracing humility. Reason number 3, you're too negative. A Debbie Downer is someone that no one wants to be around. It is highly likely that people will avoid you like the plague if you are continually moaning, whining, or finding the negative in every scenario. You should make an effort to spread some cheer instead, because positivity is contagious. He argued in his meditations that the best revenge is to live a good life. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman philosopher. Negativity is similar to a sickness that circulates easily. It is possible for individuals around you to be negatively affected by your habit of continually complaining and concentrating on the negative aspects of life. People may begin to avoid you because they experience feelings of exhaustion and dissatisfaction after spending time in your presence. People are typically negative because they are frightened of being let down, which is one of the reasons why. Some people have the misconception that if they don't anticipate anything positive to occur, they won't be upset when things don't go as planned. Having this perspective, on the other hand, can actually make it more challenging to accomplish your objectives and delight in life. To help you overcome negativity, here are some tips. Take some time out of each day to reflect on the positive aspects of your life and cultivate an attitude of thankfulness. Taking this step can assist you in shifting your emphasis away from the negative. In the event that you catch yourself thinking negatively, it is important to confront those thoughts and replace them with thoughts that are more optimistic. Your mood and outlook on life can be improved by spending time with positive individuals. Thus, it is important to surround oneself with people who have a positive attitude. Engaging in creative activities may be a wonderful way to express yourself and reduce stress. Find a creative outlet and participate in creative activities. Seek the assistance of a trained professional. If you're experiencing persistent feelings of negativity, you should think about consulting with a therapist. In addition to assisting you in developing coping methods, they can assist you in determining the underlying causes of your mood. Maintain in mind that negativity is a choice. It is possible to improve your mood, the quality of your relationships, and your quality of life in general by making a concerted effort to concentrate on the positive aspects of your life. Reason number 4. You are a gossip. Gossiping is an unhealthy behavior that can harm relationships. There will come a time when people will discover that you are not trustworthy if you are always talking about other people behind their backs. If you want to focus on developing healthy relationships, you should keep your opinions to yourself. Epictetus is credited with saying, "What concerns me is not the opinion of others, but my own viewpoint." Gossiping is a type of social violence that has the potential to have a disastrous effect on both individuals and societies. When we engage in gossip, we are spreading rumors, false information, and negativity, all of which have the potential to cause harm to reputations, hurt sentiments, and create divisions. A need for social affirmation is one of the reasons why people engage in gossip. It's possible that they believe that by spreading unfavorable information about other people, they would be perceived as more intriguing, powerful, or knowledgeable. On the other hand, this attitude to social interaction is not just short-sighted, but also ultimately detrimental. Here are some suggestions for avoiding engaging in gossip. Take care of your own life and the people who are important to you. Mind your own business. Keep your distance from the turmoil that other people are experiencing. If you have something terrible to say about another person, you should either keep it to yourself or talk to them personally. Speak positively of other people instead. If you hear a rumor, you should not repeat it. This is the best way to avoid spreading rumors. In its place, make an effort to discover the truth. Instead of engaging in gossip, you should concentrate on developing strong and healthy relationships with other people. Put your attention on forming positive relationships. Keep in mind that engaging in gossip is a decision. You may make the world a more pleasant and peaceful place for yourself and for other people if you make the conscious decision to be trustworthy, courteous, and kind. Reason number 5. You are a drama queen. A drama queen is disliked by everyone. People will become irritated with you and avoid you if you consistently make a big deal out of things that are quite little. You should make an effort to keep your feelings in check and concentrate on the wider picture. The words of Seneca can be summarized as follows: "It is not the things themselves that disturb us. Rather, it is our judgments about them." Drama queens are individuals who have a propensity to exaggerate or sensationalize circumstances, frequently in an effort to garner attention or sympathy. People have a tendency to overreact to relatively slight setbacks, to build mountains out of molehills, or to create drama that is not necessary. The people around them may experience exhaustion and frustration as a result of this conduct, which may result in strained relationships and social distance. Having a fear of being ignored or neglected is one of the reasons why people become drama queens. It's possible that they think that by deliberately stirring up trouble, they might gain the attention and affirmation that they so desperately need. Nevertheless, this attitude to social engagement is irresponsible, short-sighted, and ultimately damaging. You may prevent being a drama queen by following these helpful hints. When you are feeling agitated, it is important to take a step back and try to think about the situation in an impartial manner. To what extent do you believe it to be a problem? Confrontations with negative thoughts. Challenge the thoughts that are causing you to exaggerate or catastrophize about a situation, and replace them with concepts that are more grounded in reality. When you are upset about anything, it is important to ensure that you are able to express your sentiments in a manner that is both calm and useful. Refrain from ranting, setting blame, or making allegations. Keeping in mind that the majority of issues are only temporary is important to keep in mind. Maintaining a sense of perspective and concentrating on the wider picture is important. Look for assistance from a professional. Seek the advice of a therapist if you are experiencing persistent problems with the behavior of a drama queen. They are able to assist you in coming up with coping techniques and determining the underlying causes of your conduct. Don't forget that the behavior of a drama queen is a choice. Your relationships and your quality of life as a whole can be improved if you make the conscious decision to respond to situations in a calm and sensible manner. Reason number 6. You are a leech. Eventually, people will begin to feel resentment toward you if you are always asking for favors or expecting them to do things for you. Rather than merely taking, you should strive to offer to the connections you have. Epictetus once stated, "We should not be like the beggar who expects everything from others." This is a powerful statement. Leeches are those that are continuously taking from other people without providing anything in exchange. It's possible that they are always requesting favors, borrowing money, or expecting other people to take care of things for them. These behaviors can be exhausting and irritating for others who are around them, which can result in feelings of resentment and relationships that are strained. One of the reasons why people become leeches is because they are unable to provide for themselves. There is a possibility that they have difficulties taking care of themselves or satisfying their own requirements. The result of this is that they may come to rely on other people for everything, which can put a strain on the connections they have. To prevent leech behavior, here are some helpful hints. Make an effort to be self-sufficient and take care of yourself as much as you can. Managing your funds, taking care of your tasks, and finding solutions to your own difficulties are all important aspects of this. It is better to offer to assist other people rather than constantly requesting favors from them. Being willing to contribute to relationships is demonstrated by this action. If someone does something good for you, it is important to let them know how much you appreciate it and convey your thanks. That you appreciate their generosity is demonstrated by this. Set limits. It's good to say no every once in a while. If you are not able to do something for someone else, or if it is something that you do not want to do, you should not feel forced to do it for them. Talk to a therapist if you are having trouble dealing with the conduct of a leech. Seek the assistance of a professional. They are able to assist you in coming up with coping techniques and determining the underlying causes of your conduct. Reciprocity is the foundation of strong relationships, so keep that in mind. You may avoid engaging in leech behavior and develop better, more rewarding connections with other people if you are autonomous and in the process of giving to your relationships. Reason number 7. You are passive-aggressive. The use of passive-aggressive behavior is a sort of emotional manipulation that has the potential to cause significant damage to interpersonal relationships. You will ultimately come to the realization that you are not being honest with them if you consistently make snide comments or give them the quiet treatment. Seneca is credited with having written that he who is angry is always accusing himself. Through the use of passive-aggressive behavior, one might covertly convey their displeasure or hatred toward another person. People that engage in passive-aggressive behavior want to convey their message through the use of covert strategies rather than through open and honest communication. Among the behaviors that fall under this category are things like giving the silent treatment, making snarky comments, and sabotaging other people. People could participate in passive-aggressive behavior because they are afraid of confrontation, which is one of the reasons why they do it. It is possible that they believe that if they express their displeasure directly, it will result in conflict or refusal. On the other hand, this strategy may, in the long term, be more detrimental to individual relationships. To help you overcome passive-aggressive behavior, here are some suggested strategies. Directly expressing your feelings is preferable than utilizing passive-aggressive strategies. Thus, it is important to communicate in an open and honest manner. Even though it may be challenging, this is the most effective method for resolving problems and establishing good relationships. If you are having trouble controlling your anger, there are a variety of strategies that you may learn to help you master the art of anger management. In this context, deep breathing, meditation, and therapy are sometimes included. Look for assistance from a professional. Take into consideration consulting a therapist if you are having difficulty with passive-aggressive behavior. They are able to assist you in coming up with coping techniques and determining the underlying causes of your conduct. It is important to keep in mind that passive-aggressive behavior is a choice. Individuals have the ability to enhance their relationships as well as their general quality of life by making the decision to speak in an open and honest manner. Reason number 8. You are a backstabber. Someone who is untrustworthy and will betray your confidence is commonly referred to as a backstabber. It is inevitable that others will ultimately discover that you are always talking about your friends behind their backs or sabotaging their success, and they will avoid you as a result. If you want to avoid adversaries, the greatest way to do it is to be a good friend, as Epictetus mentioned. A sort of treachery known as backstabbing can have a deleterious effect on the relationships that are involved. By betraying someone, we not only hurt their sentiments, but also erode their trust, which in turn damages their reputation. Relationships might become strained, social isolation can occur, and credibility can be damaged as a result. People participate in backstabbing for a variety of reasons, one of which is the craving for social approval. There is a possibility that they are under the impression that by speaking adversely about other people, they would be perceived as more intriguing, powerful, or skilled. On the other hand, this attitude to social interaction is not only short-sighted, but additionally detrimental in the long run. In order to avoid engaging in behavior that is considered backstabbing, here are some tips. Ensure that you are trustworthy by keeping the agreements you make, being truthful with other people, and avoiding the disclosure of confidential information. It is important to speak nicely of other people. If you have something unfavorable to say about someone, you should either talk to them directly or keep it to yourself. It is important to refrain from spreading rumors. If you hear a rumor, you should not repeat it. Instead, you should make an effort to discover the truth. Build strong, healthy relationships based on trust and respect rather than backstabbing others. Always keep in mind that backstabbing is a decision. When you make the conscious decision to be kind, honest, and trustworthy, you may make the environment more positive and harmonious for yourself as well as for those around you. Reason number 9. You are a bully. Any form of bullying is never tolerated. If you are always making fun of other people, putting them down, or making them feel horrible about themselves, then you are a bully. Respect everyone you come in contact with and be polite to other people. The famous Greek philosopher Epictetus once remarked, "The best way to live is to live in harmony with those around you." One form of violence is known as bullying, which is characterized by the use of authority to do harm or frighten another individual. Bullying can manifest itself in a variety of ways, including verbal, emotional, physical, and even cyberbullying. Bullying may have a terrible effect on victims, causing them to experience low self-esteem, sadness, anxiety, and even thoughts of suicide. It is possible that a drive for power and control is one of the reasons why people become bullies. People could have the misconception that they can feel more powerful and important if they bully other people. Having said that, this attitude to social contact is not only destructive in the long run, but also short-sighted. The following are some suggestions for preventing bullying. Do not be a bystander. If you see someone being bullied, you should not do nothing but stand by and do nothing. Speak up and protect the person who has been victimized. Be a friend. Those who are being bullied should be offered support and kindness from you. It is important to let them know that they are not alone. Report bullying. If you see bullying, you should report it to a teacher, a parent, or any person in a position of authority. Encourage acts of kindness and respect. Encourage other people to treat everyone with kindness and respect. Don't forget that bullying is a decision. You may contribute to the creation of a more positive and inclusive atmosphere for everyone by making the conscious decision to be kind and compassionate. Reason number 10. You are a hypocrite. A hypocrite is characterized by the fact that they do not put their words into action. People will be able to see through your bigotry if you are continuously instructing other people what to do, but never taking your own advice. To paraphrase what Epictetus had to say about the matter, the best way to avoid hypocrisy is to live consistently with your own principles. In the context of deception, hypocrisy refers to the act of seeming to have views or standards that one does not genuinely uphold. Hypocrites frequently declare one thing but act in a different manner, which results in a loss of confidence and trust. When people want to appear to be moral or virtuous, this is one of the reasons why they become hypocrites. It is possible that they have the thought that if they portray themselves as decent individuals, they would be loved and admired. Having said that, this attitude to social contact is not only destructive in the long run, but also short-sighted. To prevent being hypocritical, here are some helpful hints. Always be genuine. Keep your integrity and your core beliefs intact. Make no attempt to be someone you are not. If you want to be a decent person, you should live a good life. Put what you preach into practice. When you talk the talk, you should also walk the walk. Own up to your own responsibility. Make it a point to acknowledge your errors and accept responsibility for the things you do. Everyone has their own set of preconceived notions and prejudices. It is important to be conscious of your own preconceived notions and to make every effort to prevent them from affecting your actions. Bear in mind that hypocrisy is a decision. To cultivate trust, credibility, and positive connections, you must make the conscious decision to live in a manner that is genuine and in accordance with your core beliefs. Reason number 11. You are a toxic person. Negative, manipulative, and damaging to be around. A toxic person is someone who is harmful to be around. One might be considered a toxic person if they consistently pull down other people, cause them to feel horrible about themselves, or cause drama. If you want to avoid being a toxic person, the best way to do it is to be a decent person, as Epictetus once remarked. Those individuals who have a detrimental effect on the others in their immediate vicinity are said to be toxic. Individuals who are manipulative, dominating, abusive, or simply unpleasant to be around are examples of such individuals. By contributing to the creation of a toxic atmosphere, toxic people can make it more challenging for others to flourish and experience happiness. A profound sense of inadequacy or insecurity is one of the factors that contribute to the development of toxic personalities in individuals. There is a possibility that they believe that by pulling others down, they would be able to feel better about themselves. Nevertheless, this attitude to social engagement is irresponsible, short-sighted, and ultimately damaging. Toxic behavior can be identified by the following signs. Toxic people have a tendency to have a pessimistic attitude on life and are constantly complaining or finding fault with whatever they are doing. The use of guilt, fear, or intimidation is a common tactic that they employ in their attempt to manipulate others in order to achieve their goals. The drive to exert control over other people and the circumstances in which they find themselves is a common trait among toxic people. Criticism. They may be too critical of other people, frequently conveying their criticism in a manner that is harsh or condescending. Drama. Toxic people may resort to creating drama or conflict in order to attract attention or to exert control over other people. If you or someone you know exhibits any of these symptoms, it is imperative that you get professional assistance on the matter. Negative behavior can be detrimental to both the mental health and the relationships of an individual. The following are some suggestions for overcoming behaviors that are harmful. Seek the assistance of a trained professional. If you are having trouble dealing with destructive conduct, you should think about finding a therapist. They are able to assist you in determining the factors that are contributing to your behavior and in developing solutions for dealing with it. You can develop your self-awareness by devoting some time to gaining an understanding of your own ideas, feelings, and behaviors. Doing so can assist you in recognizing any potentially harmful patterns. Put empathy into practice. You should make an effort to perceive things from the viewpoint of other people. By doing so, you can gain a better understanding of how the actions you take impact other people. Establish and cultivate healthy coping mechanisms. Master the art of managing stress, anger, and other negative emotions via the use of appropriate coping mechanisms. Spending time with people who are positive can help you adjust your viewpoint and enhance your mood. Surround yourself with people who are so upbeat. Keep in mind that engaging in harmful activity is a choice. Your ability to create a more peaceful and satisfying atmosphere for yourself and others is directly correlated to your decision to be kind, courteous, and positive. Therefore, there you have it. 11 reasons why individuals might be harboring a secret hatred for you. Keep in mind that it is never too late to turn things around. To begin working on these areas, you should do so if you want to improve your relationships and become a better person. Take a leaf from the Stoics and make it your priority to lead a life that is characterized by virtue. I am grateful that you watched. It is imperative that you remember to like, comment, and subscribe in order to receive additional mind-blowing stuff. I'll see you the next time.